Hey everybody, welcome back to my 8th talk in our series of short epigenetic science talks. In our Super Agers talk, we discussed the need for getting extra protein as we get over 60 to maintain muscle mass in our body. I've been asked a question to explain the difference between protein we eat in our diet and the protein I discussed in my 5th talk when I said proteins are the building blocks of life. If you're enjoying the content in these videos, please like, subscribe, follow, and share them. It's very helpful. Thank you. You've heard me talk about the genome being defined as all of our DNA. Have you heard of the proteome? Stay tuned, because the proteome is a huge part of understanding our epigenetics. Many people have heard the word protein discussed as something we need to get from protein-rich foods in our diet. Proteins are molecules that are made up of building blocks called amino acids. Amino acids are like links that are assembled into chains. Many amino acids linked together can form chains of various lengths called proteins. Here we see each colored dot representing an amino acid. Shorter chains of amino acids are called peptides, while longer chains of amino acids are called proteins. If we point anywhere on our body, we're pointing to proteins. Point here, pointing to skin. Our skin is made of protein. Our eyes are made of protein. Our muscles are made of protein. Internal organs, all made of protein. Essentially, our body is built from proteins. Here's a beautiful necklace that my amazing wife Penny made, and I'm using it to show you an example of a protein. If you look, each of these precious beads represents a different amino acid, and the entire string of beads represents the protein. Proteins will go through different kinds of folding to get to their final shape. And as you'll see in the upcoming videos, proteins are always vibrating and moving. I'm spending time talking about proteins because they're very interesting, and they are the molecules that actually carry out our epigenetics. All of our health at the molecular level is based in the state of our proteins. My name is Robert Needleman. I'm a molecular biologist and biochemist. Thank you very much for joining me for the next few minutes. Welcome to this episode of Empower My DNA. This is an animation from the conversation of a chain of amino acids folding into a protein. Proteins come in many shapes and sizes. Our body digests protein from food into small peptides and amino acids that it uses to build its own proteins. There are 21 amino acids. 9 are called essential amino acids because we have to get them from food since our bodies can't make them. Proteins provide us with structure and perform a vast array of functions. The word protein is a Greek word meaning of utmost importance. We can stand, run, walk, think, feel emotions, and do so many other things because of proteins. Let's look at several different ways proteins are used in our bodies from the RCSB Protein Databank. Defense. Our immune system uses antibodies, which are proteins. Each antibody has 2 antigen binding sites. These sites are able to attach to pathogens in the body. Here we see each of the 2 flexible arms of an antibody binding to virus molecules and targeting them for destruction by the immune system. Communication. The hormone insulin is a small, stable protein that is secreted by the pancreas and travels through the bloodstream to regulate blood sugar or glucose levels. Here we see the bloodstream inside a blood vessel. The peach color is the surface of an endothelial cell that lines the blood vessel. The little white molecules you see floating are blood sugar, or what is called glucose. The blue arch is an insulin receptor on the surface of the blood vessel cell. The two green proteins are both insulin molecules. This insulin molecule is going into its binding site. This binding has triggered these blue lights, which is a message being sent along the insulin receptor into the cell. This is called an intracellular signaling pathway. The message that was sent into the cell was to display a glucose transporter protein on the surface of the cell. This transporter allows blood sugar molecules to be taken out of the bloodstream and delivered into the cell. It's really quite incredible. The next kinds of proteins are called enzymes. Enzymes accelerate chemical reactions in our body. They play a vital role in our cellular processes. We're going to look at an enzyme called alpha amylase, which is found in our saliva. Here's the protein surrounded by carbohydrate chains, which are found in whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and other foods we eat. This is the active site of the enzyme where it will cut the carbohydrate chain as we chew our food. Here's the cut, and this is the beginning of starch digestion in our mouth. Next, we're going to look at how proteins help transport molecules around our body. Hemoglobin is a protein that is in our red blood cells. It has a molecule called heme that has an iron atom at its center that is tucked into the middle of the hemoglobin. 4 hemoglobin subunits come together to form what is called a tetramer. Hemoglobin is able to carry oxygen because of the heme molecules. This is a hemoglobin surrounded by oxygen molecules. You can see pairs of the blue oxygen atoms because the oxygen molecule is O2. Here we see an oxygen molecule going into the hemoglobin to bind with the heme, creating oxyhemoglobin. This is how hemoglobin in our red blood cells picks up oxygen in our lungs. Oxyhemoglobin has 4 heme, so it's able to carry 4 O2 oxygen molecules. At our tissues, oxygen is released from hemoglobin and delivered to be used by our cells. It then becomes deoxyhemoglobin. Each red blood cell contains about 280 million hemoglobin molecules. Inside our cells, proteins transport vesicles, which are like cellular delivery trucks for several kinds of molecules. Vesicles are moved along tracks called microtubules by motor proteins. This one is called kinesin. It has 2 legs that simulate a walking motion. Our cells are extraordinary. The last protein function we'll cover today is structure. Collagen is a protein that forms a strong triple helix that is used throughout our body for structural support. Collagen molecules form elongated collagen fibrils, which aggregate to form collagen fibers. This type of collagen is abundant in tendons, as well as forming muscle, bone, cartilage, hair, and many other structures in our bodies. I hope you're enjoying this glimpse into the fascinating world of our body's proteins. Before we finish today's episode, I'm going to show us the incredibly large number of different proteins in our body. This is very important because even a slight variation in a protein can have a big effect on its function, which can then affect our health. Our lifestyle choices have a significant impact on our body's proteins, which truly empowers us to be healthy. How many different types of proteins do we have? This is called our proteome. A proteome is the complete set of proteins expressed by an organism. Our proteome is constantly changing, unlike our genome, which is relatively constant. Proteoforms are all the different molecular forms in which a protein can be found. Unlocking the human proteome. Northwestern scientists are leading the charge to sequence proteins the way the Human Genome Project sequenced genes and DNA. Dr. Neil Kelleher is the lead scientist. At last count, he's classified 200,000 unique proteoforms, leaving many millions more to go. Understanding Proteoforms, Unlocking the Complexity of Proteins. There may be 6 million or more different proteoforms. What's truly incredible is that the same gene can make many different forms of the protein for which it codes. It is the complex landscape of proteoforms throughout our body that defines our health. In terms of epigenetics, what we're saying is that based on our perception of our environment and our lifestyle choices, our body chooses what proteins to make. Science is now studying the protein-proteoform composition in a person's blood to determine their health status, and also as a possible predictor of health issues in the future, so lifestyle adjustments can be made. We can say to ourselves, my body chooses proteins for my health and happiness. We have so many exciting epigenetics topics to cover, so please continue to join me. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a most incredible, wonderful, healthy day.